Sterling to Arsenal is actually a good transfer. Sterling to Arsenal is not a bad transfer at all. I think it's great actually for all parties involved. We know Enzo Maresca and Chelsea have discarded Sterling. So for him personally, it's a good move to go to a team that is actually in the Champions League and that you know will be competing for a league. For Sterling, I think it's a perfect move. It's a chance for him to redeem himself, to rejuvenate himself, and to get back in and amongst the goals, right? So for him, I think it's a great move. The reason it's also good for Chelsea is because they get Sterling out of the team, and we know that he had a fallout with the manager already. The manager doesn't want him, so they get him out of the team. Already we know they have 45 players, so they need to at least let some of those go, and they were able to let Sterling go. However, it is a little bit of a strange one because Arsenal, as I understand, will be paying less than 50% of his wages, and this is a loan deal, right? So it's not a loan deal with an obligation to buy or with an option to buy. I think it's just a straight loan, but Arsenal will be paying less than 50% of the wage, which is a great deal for Arsenal. I think it's great business for Arsenal. Chelsea, we know Raheem Sterling, I think, is on 350k per week. That means Arsenal will be playing like what, 100k, just about. It's a great deal by Arsenal in terms of money wise, and it's also a great deal because Arsenal are in the Champions League. Arsenal are competing for the league. They need depth in the squad, and Raheem Sterling is a brilliant option to bring off the bench, not just Trossard. For me, Trossard should be starting off. Trossard should be starting. He should definitely be ahead in the lineup over Martinelli. And imagine having Martinelli and Raheem Sterling as options off the bench. That's great. Lots of pace there, lots of directness. If Martinelli can get his confidence back, then Arsenal will also be cooking. We know that Arsenal don't necessarily have a main goal getter. We know that they share the goals amongst all the players in all the positions. There's no number 9 like a Haaland that gets 20 goals. So it's a great option to have Raheem Sterling. Maybe he can get 10 this season in the league or something. And we know Raheem Sterling can play on both flanks. He's versatile, and he's also had experience in the fast 9 role. Not to mention that he's been coached by Arteta before, and he was cooking at City the time that Arteta was there. So Arsenal and Arteta already have a little bit of an understanding with Sterling. The type of football that Arsenal plays, the type of football that Man City was playing, that Sterling is already used to. He can come in and maybe not need even time to adjust, right? So I think Sterling, once he gets his opportunity, he will cook for Arsenal. He's going into a team that dominates the ball, into a team that is very confident, they're playing well, and I think it will only do him good. It will only do him good simply because Chelsea, a lot was wrong at Chelsea, and we didn't have a lot of players perform besides Cole Palmer, who was an anomaly, a brilliant exception, yes, but the rest of the Chelsea team, I don't think all of them were really playing at their best, and that also would have affected Sterling. So I think if Sterling is also surrounded by a good team that is playing well, he will also raise his game definitely. We know he lost out on his spot for the Euros, and this is a great opportunity for him to redeem himself. So for me, in summary, it's a great deal for Sterling personally. It's a great deal for Arsenal. They're paying less than 50% of the wage. They have the Champions League. They have a squad that's going to need some depth. They're challenging for the league. They're bringing in an experienced player with over 100 Premier League goals and with Champions League experience. It's a great business deal by Arsenal. There's no risk involved. If it doesn't work out, Sterling goes back to Chelsea. If it works out, great. They might even think about maybe making it permanent. But for example, Sterling has a great CV. Sterling has played at Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and now Arsenal. I don't know what his ancestors are cooking, but this man has just played for the top 6. He's basically doing a top 6 tour. But for me, in my opinion, I think this is a great deal, and I think Sterling is good. And by the way, there was a chance that he joined Man United, and there were people who were saying that they don't want him at Man United, he's not good enough. And I actually agree that Sterling is actually a better winger than any winger that Manchester United have got at the moment. He's better than Amad Diallo, that's for sure, who's starting. He's better than Rashford, who's starting. He's better than Garnacho. Garnacho can't even earn a start right now for Manchester United. Yes, Garnacho might be, out of all these wingers, the one that's on better form, but he had a better season, but that's just one season last season. Technically for me, his breakout season. And Sterling, he's vastly experienced, he's done it, he's won the Premier League multiple times, being crucial to Man City's title wins. He's scored over 100 Premier League goals. He's a lot better in a lot of aspects, probably maybe not as hardworking defensively as Garnacho, but for me, Sterling is a better winger than any Man United winger that they have at the moment, including Jadon Sancho. We know now Sancho has gone to Chelsea. So yeah, for me, he was actually a good option for Man United, and I think Man United have lost out on him, and it's a loss. It's not something to celebrate by Man United. It's actually a loss because Sterling does have quality that would have definitely that Man United need desperately right now at this moment. With that being said, that's my piece on it. Definitely rooting for Sterling to do well and get his career back on track at Chelsea. He did say his best is yet to come, and let's see it. I think he's in a perfect place to show us his best again, and he has a fan base in Arsenal that will support him all the way. Remember what the Arsenal fan base did with Kai Havertz? They literally were not accepting him at the beginning, and look how much they love him now. They trust in Arteta, they trust in Arteta's transfers, in his ideas and his ideology and philosophy, and they back the manager. So if Arteta is backing Sterling, the Arsenal fans will go and back Sterling again, and that's what Sterling needs. Chelsea fans were booing him. We know he had that horrible game where they literally just booed him and wanted him off the pitch, and he did, and he never really recovered from there. So he needs a fresh start, and I think this is brilliant for Sterling. With that being said, that's my opinion. Please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.